Hello everyone and welcome to CodeChef. In today's video, we are going to learn about this keyword in Java and the two most important concepts connected to it, constructor chaining and methods that return objects. These are very important ideas in OOPS, and once you understand them, your Java coding will become much cleaner and more powerful. As always, don't just watch, practice alongside me. The link is in the description below. This keyword, constructor chaining and methods returning objects. Now let's start with a simple real-life situation. Imagine you're in a classroom and the teacher says, this student has scored the highest marks. Here, the word this refers to a specific student standing in the front of the teacher. Now in Java, the keyword this works in the same way. It refers to the current object, the object whose method or constructor is being executed. So whenever you create an object using the new keyword inside that object's method and constructors, the keyword this refers to that exact object. You can think of it as Java saying, hey, I'm talking about this current object. Now what is this in Java? The keyword this is a special reference variable. It is used to refer to the current object, access instant variables, resolve confusion between variables, and call another constructor in the same class. Now why do we need this? Sometimes the constructor parameters or method parameters have the same name as the instance variables. In that case, Java gets confused. Alright, so now let's see a simple example over here. Here you can see class student string name int age. Inside here the constructor public student string name comma int age. So here we have parameter name and age, but the class also has instance variables like name and age. So if we write name is equal to name, Java won't know are we assigning the parameter to itself or assigning it to the instance variable. So we use this dot name is equal to name and this dot age is equal to age. So this clearly means this dot name is the instance variable and just the name is the parameter. So we are assigning the parameter value to the object's variable. Get a worked example. Now here we solidify the understanding of this keyword. Here a cuboid class is given with three instance variables, length, width and height. Parameters for constructors also have the same name, so we are using this keyword to resolve ambiguity. Alright, so now let's start looking at the code over here. Here class cuboid defines the class name cuboid. We have integer length, width and height. These are instance variables representing the dimensions. So cuboid int length, int width and int height. This is a constructor that takes three parameters. And now this dot length is equal to length. So this dot length is the instance variable and length is the constructor parameter. This assigns parameter value to the object variable. Now similarly we have this dot width is equal to width and this dot height is equal to height. Now void area. This is the method to calculate the surface area. The formula used is 2 into length into width plus width into height plus height into length. And similarly we have void volume of length into width into height. Now see over here. Now here cuboid C is equal to new cuboid 10, 5, 3. Here we have this 10 is the length, 5 is the width and 3 is the height. Now we are going to calculate the surface area and the volume. So now let's try running this program. Alright, so as you can see we have area of cuboid of 190 and volume of cuboid as 150 as expected. Now let's talk about constructor chaining, which is another very important concept. So you already know default constructors, parameterized constructors, copy constructors, but sometimes a class has multiple constructors and we want them to reuse code. This is where constructor chaining comes in. So what is constructor chaining? Constructor chaining is when one constructor calls another constructor using the same class, using this keyword basically. So why is it useful? So now imagine one constructor sets basic values, another constructor sets more specific values. So instead of repeating the basic setup, we can call the basic constructor first, then add extra details, and this keeps the code cleaner, shorter, and easier to maintain. Alright, so in this example, we'll solidify our understanding of constructor chaining. A class called item representing an item in a shopping cart. A class called item representing an item in a shopping cart is created. Now the item class has three instance variables like name, price, and quantity. Then two constructors are created. A basic constructor that sets the name to generic item, price to 0.0 and quantity to 0 by passing these values to the parameterized constructor. A parameterized constructor that takes name, price, and quantity as arguments and sets those values. Now let's see how this works. So here we have our class called item with our name, price, and quantity. Now here we have public item, we have the generic item, the price as 10.0 and quantity 1. So this sets the default values. Now we have constructor 2. We have this name as name, price, and this is just for the understanding flow basically. So this calls basic constructor first, then overrides name and price. Now we have constructor 3. This calls constructor 2 and then sets the quantity. So again we have this name comma price, this quantity we have quantity. We have void display which will print out all the details. This is where our program begins. So it will display our book, which is our item 2, and we have item 3 as shirt with our price and quantity. So now when we run, our output will basically show a basic constructor call, name and price constructor call, and full constructor call. This clearly demonstrates constructor chaining. So now let's see how it looks. So first constructor 3 starts basically, calls constructor 2, and constructor 2 calls constructor 1. Now we can see basic item constructor called. Then we have item name, generic item, price 10 and quantity 1. Then we have basic item constructor called, where name and price constructor are the item name is book, the price is 25.0 and quantity is 1. And then we have the basic item constructor called, which is shirt 20.0 and the quantity is 2. Now let's talk about methods returning object. So far we have written methods that return integer, double, and string, but methods can also return objects. What does this mean? A method can create a new object or return the current object using this. Alright, so let's look at an example to solidify our understanding of methods returning objects with practical examples. Now we have a rectangle class with length and width. Here you can see these are the instance variables. Now a method called convert to square inside the rectangle class. Now this is our rectangle class. We have convert to square. This method checks if the rectangle is already a square. If it is, it simply returns this, the current rectangle object. So if it isn't, it will create a new rectangle object representing a square with edge equal to minimum length width of the rectangle and return the new object. So now we can see here we have if length is equal to width, it prints out the rectangle is a square, returning the same object. If else, we have inside is equal to math.min this.length. So basically this creates a new square and the side is equal to smaller dimension and it returns a new object. Now here you can see it creates a new object and it prints that rectangle is not a square and returning a new square object. This is where our program starts and we have these inputs of rectangle 1, new rectangle 5 to 5, 5, new rectangle 4, 6 and 8, 2. Now let's try running this program to see our output. Alright, so our original rectangle 1 was length 5 and width was 5. The rectangle is a square which returns the same object. So then we have rectangle 2, 4 and 6. The rectangle is not a square, so returning a new square object. And finally we have length 8 and width 2. The rectangle is not a square and returning a new square object again. So the rectangle is not a square, it returns a new square object. So here you can see these two instances, we have been returned a square instead of a rectangle. Let's quickly summarize what we've learned today. Today we learned this refers to the current object. It helps resolve variable name conflicts. It can be used in constructors and methods. And we learned constructor chaining uses this, and methods can return objects. Sometimes methods return this and sometimes a new object. Now it's your turn. Run these programs on the CodeChef compiler. Practice these small examples and it will make you very comfortable with these OOP concepts. Keep practicing, keep coding, and I'll see you in the next video.